All right, everybody, welcome back. We're diving right back into Italian grammar today.
And specifically, we are talking about double negatives,
Uh,
which are something that, as English speakers, we're kind of taught to avoid.
yeah,
Like the grammar police are going to come get you
right.
if you use a double negative.
Absolutely.
But in Italian,
Yeah,
not only are they grammatically correct,
right.
they're kind of essential to speaking
Yes.
naturally. So, I mean, you're the expert here.
Worry.
Why is that?
Well, yeah, in English, if we use two negatives, it's considered, a grammatical error.
Right.
But in Italian, it's actually the opposite. Using two negatives is not only grammatically correct,
Okay.
but it's actually the standard way to express negation.
Mm,
And it doesn't make the meaning positive like it might in English.
right.
It actually strengthens the negative.
Okay.
So it adds this emphasis to whatever it is you're negating.
So it's like you're really not doing something.
Exactly. You're emphasizing the not.
Okay, so I think I'm starting to wrap my head around this. Can you give me an example?
Yeah. So like a really simple example would be if you want to say like, I don't want anything.
Okay.
In English, we just say that, right?
Right.
But in Italian, you would say non voglio niente.
Okay.
Non meaning not and niente meaning nothing.
Okay.
So literally, word for word, it's like saying not, I want nothing,
Interesting.
which sounds strange to us in English.
Right.
But that's how you say it correctly in Italian.
Non voglio niente.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, I know we were looking through Pronunciator, which is the software that we, recommend for learning Italian.
Right.
And they have, I think, like 10,000 example phrases.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, but one of them I noticed.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember exactly what it means, but I wrote it down because I was like, there are a lot of nons in this phrase.
Okay.
And it is, non c'è di male che non faccia bene. So can you break that one down? Because it's more than just a double negative.
Yeah. So that one's a little bit more complex, but it literally translates to there is no evil that does not do well, which is basically a more complicated way of saying every cloud has a silver lining.
Right.
So yeah, you're right. That has more than two negatives in there. It has non, male, which has kind of a negative connotation, and then another non and faccia bene. So it's like it's emphasizing the fact that even in bad situations, there's always something good that can come out of it.
And that tracks with what you're saying about how it's not just that it's grammatically correct, but it gives it like an extra emphasis.
Exactly. Yeah. It makes it stronger.
Yeah.
Like you really want to drive home the point that even bad things have good aspects to them.
So for all of our listeners who are learning Italian, or maybe they hit this stumbling block and they're like, wait a second.
Yeah.
My teacher told me in English class.
Right. Don't do this.
Do not do this.
Right.
What is the one takeaway? I mean, obviously they have to rewrap their brain around, using the double negative. But what should they be thinking about when they're using a double negative in Italian?
I mean, I think the most important thing is to not be afraid of them.
Okay.
Like you said, we're kind of conditioned to think they're wrong, but in Italian, they're not.
Yeah.
They're actually a really important part of the language.
Yeah.
So embrace the double negative. And as you start to get more comfortable with them, try to notice how they change the tone.
Okay.
Like, do they make what you're saying stronger
Mm-hmm.
or formal? Maybe a little bit more theatrical even?
Interesting.
Be around with it.
That's a good way to put it. Okay. Well, this was great. Thank you so much for clarifying that. And for all of our listeners out there, make sure you're paying attention to those double negatives as you're going through Pronunciator.
Yes.
And until next time, ciao.